Alrighty, we are back here with our NHL 18 franchise mode here at the Calgary Flames. This is episode number 43. Yes, welcome back to our franchise mode here at the Calgary Flames in the midst of our fourth season at the helms as the GM here of the Flames. And we are in a very good position right now as we enter the month of February here in the year of 2021. You can see down here in the standings, we do sit comfortably at 74 in our division. We are obviously quite a far ahead of the other teams as well as in the Western Conference. If I can just find the Western standings here, or these are divisional standings. But anyways, we are also the number one team in the National Hockey League. Let's take a look at those standings. Just to see where we sit here going into February. So yeah, there we are, 74 points in 49 games to lead our division, 74 points to lead our conference. The next closest team is St. Louis at 68, and then there we are, as well as tops of the NHL. Again, St. Louis and Philly, the next two closest teams. So we're actually pretty, we're only 6 points there ahead of the Blues and 7 points there ahead of the Flyers for top spot in the NHL. But that is a pretty good, comfortable lead as of now. Now, lots of hockey still to be played, but you can see we're doing really good things here as we look to maybe capture our first President's Trophy in quite a while. And but again, like we said at the end there of episode number 42, it's all about winning the Stanley Cup. We've made it to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals. I get tired of saying it over and over again, but we need to finally win the Stanley Cup. That'd be really nice. So we're all in right now. You can see goals for here. Just want to take a quick look. We are second in the league, 164, just behind the Dallas Stars in terms of goals against. We are the best team in terms of goals against, 97. We're the only team that has allowed less than 100 goals, and we're past the halfway mark of the season. We're averaging only 1.98 goals against a game, so really good goaltending right now out of John Gibson and our defensive core getting it done. When it comes to our PP, 28% is good enough for second in the NHL, again, only behind Dallas, who is having a great offensive year. And then in terms of the PK, 86% should be tops in the NHL, and again, it's one back. Vancouver actually has the best PK in the league. So we're pretty much atop, though, of everything, pretty much, again. When you look at our offensive stats, we're getting it done. Only the Dallas Stars are a better offensive team slightly than we are, and we're the best defensive team right now in the league. So that is nice to see. Yeah, so that's just a quick look there at the standings. That's a quick look at where we are as we head into here. So you can see here, a busy month of February ahead of us. We do have the trade deadline coming up right there on the 2nd of March, but a busy month before we get there. And then, the month of March is going to be another busy month here as we get into the grind of the season. So, no reason to prolong this. Let's get right into the month of February here. We do have the All-Star break currently happening, so we'll do this scouting assignment, and then we'll try and do the trade deadline in this episode. Let's see what we need here. I don't even know where we are in scouting. Let's go do the queue. Let's do forwards here. I'll go 6 weeks there, that's fine. I don't know where we are in terms of what we need for trades. So we'll have a better idea when we get up here to trade deadline. You can see we play the Predators 3 times in this month, or technically 3 times in this before the deadline. So, but yeah, on this final game against Nashville, we should have a good idea of maybe what we need. We might not need much. This could be a very quiet trade deadline for us. I mean, things are going well right now. We'll see where we are here in just a couple weeks' time. But if things are continuing the way they are, we don't want to do too much. I don't believe we have too much salary to work with as well. So we probably don't want to go too crazy. But we'll see. Let's get through this month here against the Nashville Predators. So first period, nothing's happening here. I do want to pull up our stats from the last couple months. So as we're doing this game here against the Predators, just a quick look here at the so we do lose 2-0 here to the Predators. I believe that's the first time we got shutout in quite a while. In quite a while. So looking at our month by month here, we did start the season 8-2-0. We did go 10-4-0 in November, 10-3-1 in December, and then just 9-2-1 there in the past month in January. So really good numbers when you look at those records in the first 4 months of the season. So Whoops, we don't want to sim up to there. But pretty good numbers to start the season. So we'll see if we can continue with those numbers. But again, that's pretty much just saying why we are where we are. So again, we do start off the month of February with a loss to the Nashville Predators at 2-0 score again. We do have one of the better offensive teams in the league, so kind of surprised we got shut out there, but we'll see what we can do here against Mini. First period, 2 goals by the Predators, 2 goals by the Wild. Joe Eriksson Ek and Nito Niederreiter. Second period, nothing here. Third period, and that is 2 straight games we get shut out. Matt Dumba adds the empty netter possibly. So our offense has just suddenly gone quiet here to start this episode and start the month. I'm not sure what's going on here. Couple minuses there. I mean, 9-3-3, still a good game for John Gibson. So it's just our offense is just dried up here for 2 games. Not a big concern, but we will. Back-to-back games of being shut out. You know what? We've had such a good such a good lineup in terms of offense this whole season. So I'm gonna leave it, even though we just got shut out for 2 straight games. I'm gonna leave it for at least one more game. Not even touch the lines, but if we need to, here's Colin Miller. You'll remember in the past episode we did claim quite a few defensemen. Our defense is actually stacked right down to the American Hockey League level, so we definitely don't need any more defensemen in our system. But yeah, because I think we're pretty deep there in the AHL. We actually had to send Juuso Välimäki back because he wasn't getting any playing time in the NHL, and I think all of our defensemen in the AHL could be third pairing NHL defensemen. They're that good. So here we go. First period against the Sabres again. We're just not getting it done. That is what 7 straight periods we have yet to score a goal. Second period, there we go. Finally, Andrew Cogliano finally gets our first goal, cracks the goose egg. There we go. Dougie Hamilton as well, but they get one back from Nylander. Can we pull through in the third period? Come on, Flames. We do. We get 2 more. They get 1, but we get 2 more. Cogliano second and Mangiapane. Good enough for a 4-3 win. We do bounce back into the win column after 2 straight losses, but most importantly, we finally get some goal scoring. It was all support goals, though. 2 goals coming from Andrew Cogliano. Not too much happening from our top 2 lines, so our top 6 not getting it done. They've taken 3 games off, but hopefully they can bounce back here with Gaudreau, Tavares, Monahan, Kachuk. Those guys can bounce back here. So let's go here to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Not liking the start to this month, though. 1-2-0. Let's see if we can turn that around here. Tampa Bay. I mean, we did have a bit of a lead, but again, we just want to keep on winning right now. First period here against the Lightning, they score twice. Nemestikov, Brown, second period. We do get one back. Holla, do we fight back here in the third period? We get another one from Tavares, but they get one from Stamkos. So the 2 captains getting it done. That will be that. 3-2 is the score here. So, yeah, we've gone 1-3-0 to start the month here of February. Not the best start, probably our worst start of the season to a month, but it is very early. Gaudreau, Monahan, Tavares, they do get in on the scoring, but again, it's just not enough. Another good night, though, for John Gibson. Gibson's been pretty steady back there. We're not getting a lot from our offense right now. I mean, what is that? 5 goals in 4 games is not good enough to start this month. So we got the Buffalo Sabres again. We just beat them. Let's see if we can beat them again here, this time in Buffalo. And then we got the Islanders here coming up after that. But we got to find a way to start getting some goal scoring back here. Where's our top 6? There's Jespers Fast. There's Ryan O'Reilly, second period. There is John Tavares. Good to see there. 2-1 lead. Do we hang on in the third? We do. We get another one from Spencer Fu, and we win this game 3-1. Hey, we'll take that. I'm not even going to look at the stats. We'll take that one 3-1. As long as we're getting, goals and we're winning, I guess that's all that matters. So let's go up here against the Islanders. Just taking a look there at Stockton's record, 23-25-4. That's actually pretty good because they started the season with a absolutely horrendous record. I forget what it was at the beginning of the season, but they were like hurting bad. Not that we care too much about what Stockton's doing, but I think with the increase or added defenseman down there, the increase in depth, I was trying to say, I think that's really helped them get back close to 500 anyway in the AHL standings. So there's Blake Wheeler. He's been very quiet. Good to see him score against the former Flame Mike Smith, as well as Johnny Gaudreau. And then 2 more here in the third to pile on for a 4-0 win. Eric Holla, Brian McDonough. So there we go. We're getting the goal scoring back. That's what we need to see here. So good to see there. 4-0 win. The shutout goes to 3-point night there for McDonough, 2-point night for Gaudreau and Tavares, Wheeler, and the shutout goes to John Gibson with a 24-save shutout performance. So Gibson's been red hot. He's stayed red hot. Our offense has dropped off a little bit, but they have picked it up with a few goals here in the last couple games. So let's see if we can just keep it going here. It's just this first 3 games that they really went quiet there. But let's see if we can pick it back up here. So about halfway through the month here, St. Louis and the Flames. Here we go, creeping up close to the deadline. I'm really thinking we don't need to do a lot right now come trade deadline. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, if anything, it's probably going to be depth. But this is a bad game here for us. We lose 5-3 at the hands of the St. Louis Blues. So probably not a good night for John Gibson at all. Gaudreau's line in the minuses. Spencer Fu, 2-point night. But yeah, Gibson goes 800 in this one. So that's all right. He took a night off. He's had a lot of good nights. So we'll head back to Tampa Bay, or we'll head to Calgary to play Tampa Bay yet again. So that is twice we've faced 2 Eastern Conference teams in a span of... All right, here, so Stockton has placed Hathaway on the injured reserve. So we have to fill those lines in quickly. So one of our top players there in the AHL. We'll just bump everybody up here. Go like this. I don't even know if we have anybody to fill that spot down there. Who's our scratched players? We do have 1-4. So you can see our defensive depth. But we got 1-4 that we'll put in. I don't even care if we put him in all lines. Oh my god. It's probably that 5-on-3. Fish, and I don't care. Let's put this Jacobs in. All right. Back to the NHL. Tampa Bay, here we go. Second time this month, as mentioned, against the Lightning. They beat us the first time. Can we get this one? 2 goals for us there. Cogliano and Fisher. Excuse me. Nothing in the second, third period. We do get one more from Matty Tkachuk to beat Tyler Parsons, who, of course, we traded to Tampa Bay this season. So nice to see Tyler Parsons in the NHL. He was our top prospect for a long, long time until we decided to move on from him and acquire John Gibson from Tampa Bay. The only way that trade was going to go through was to send Parsons as part of that package back the other way. So he is a starter in the NHL. That's what we had projected he would grow into one day. So it's good to see he did get there. He grew through the Calgary Flames system, not the Lightning system, but he did get to play and make his NHL debut there with the Tampa Bay Lightning, probably at some point this season. So good to see Parsons make it. It's just too bad it couldn't have been with us, but at the same time, we're not complaining with John Gibson. This guy, he's gotten us quite close to winning a Stanley Cup, and we have the potential to do it again this year. So here we go. First period against the Coyotes. Eric Holla and Tavares. Nothing there. 3 goals. James Neal, the former Flame, and Keller and Strome getting a couple there in the second period. Can we maybe get 2 here in the third? We do, but they also get 1 more for the win, Clayton Keller, and they beat us by a score of 5-4. So again, not a good night there probably for Gibson. Yeah, he goes 8-2-8. That's all right. 3-point night there for Jake Bean. Who's in the minuses there? TJ Brody, a -4. So not a good night there for Brody at all. We just can't have players having these type of nights. Not for a team that wants to win a Stanley Cup. So let's hope it's a one game thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Here we go. So yeah, there's Garden Hathaway as we expected to come back in. So this Emelin guy can come back out. Hathaway can go back in. Where's Hathaway? Is he a right winger? I thought he was a left winger. All right, Hathaway is back in. We'll get him back up to his top line. Captain Freddie Hamilton go there, and Tuola there. All right. Florida Panthers, Calgary Flames. Keep on rolling here. This is just a grind of the season as we try to get through games here. We have hit the 40-win plateau just 2 games ago, so that's nice to see. So there's John Tavares, Johnny Gaudreau in the second, Alexander Barkov, third period. 2 more, Mangiapane, Tkachuk will take it. Beating Luongo, who for some reason is still playing in year 2021. I don't even know how. Now we got the Nashville Predators. And then the Canucks, the Knights, and the Predators one more time, and then it's trade deadline day. But we'll see what we do there. So here's an incoming trade. So the trades are already starting to go on or start. It is the Ducks wanting our second and Arizona's third for Manson and Lance Boma, former Flame. No, we don't need Mansa. He is Manson, excuse me. He is a top forward. I can't speak today. I don't even know what's going on here. He is a top forward defenseman, or is listed as 182. He'd probably be a bottom six for us. Lance Boma is a depth forward, probably AHL at best. He is listed as fourth line though. Not for a second and a third. We don't need to do that. We don't need defensive depth, and Boma's not much of an upgrade right now, especially for what we're being asked to give up. So we will decline that trade. Plus, I think he was making, what, 4-some million, Manson was. We don't need to take, I don't even think we could take on that salary. First period against the Predators, they have our number for some reason this season. My God. Second period, wow. Third period, when we get shut out for the second time this month against Nashville. Like, what is going on? I mean, Jesus, I hope we don't meet them in the playoffs. Yeah, so not a good night all around for quite a few guys. And Gibson, another game where he's hasn't played well. So he's been a little shaky here in this month of February. For the most part, Gibson's been good, but he's had a couple shaky games. But yeah, that's 6 goals to 0 that the Predators have outscored us in 2 games this month. Not liking that, and we have one more game against the Predators before the deadline. So we are seeing a lot of Nashville. But hopefully we meet them in the playoffs like we did last year. We had their number last year. You never know. First period, Gaudreau beats Demko. They get 2, though. We do get 1. It's tied at 2, third period. And we do win. Fu and Cogliano propels us to a 4-3 win. So we'll hang on for that big divisional win. And then another divisional game here against the Knights. These divisional games still matter because we're still, there's still lots of hockey to be played this season. If this was the final month, then that would be one thing. Okay, what we got here? Who has been injured? Okay, I don't even know who this guy is. What was he playing? Third line center position. Okay. All right, so that guy comes back in. What was his name? Lemelin, you got to come back in. All right. These injuries are annoying. But yeah, these divisional games still pretty big because there's still lots of hockey to be left. There's still lots of hockey left to be played. I apologize for today. I just can't talk today. All right, first period here against the Knights. First period, Hollis scores 1-0 Flames, the former Golden Knights. Second period, John Tavares 2-0 Flames, and we hang. Oh, that was the third period. Excuse me. I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. We do get the shutout. Gibson picks up the shutout. Bounce back game for him. 2-0. Another divisional game, and now the Nashville Predators. Let's see if we can finally beat them and at least score against them. That'd be great. It'd be great if we could just score. So we are entering the month of March. And we started off with a game here against the Predators, and then the trade deadline on the second day of this month. So nothing in the first. Again, they scored twice. At least we're not getting shut out this time. But can we fight back and get a win against Nashville? Please. We do tie it, going to overtime, going to shootout, and we do win. Finally, we beat the Nashville Predators on goals by Dougie Hamilton and Johnny Gaudreau in the shootout. We did have to go the distance to beat the Predators, but we finally beat them. And we definitely don't get shut out in this one, so that's good to see. 9-4-4 for John Gibson. Good night. All right, so here we go. Trade deadline day. So yeah, like I said, wasn't too much of a difference between when we started this episode and the beginning of the month and here. What did we go this month? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 and 5? Yeah, that's what I'm going with. 8, 5, and 0. Alright. 8, 5, and 0, so definitely our worst month. Could have been a lot better. But it was a bit of a shaky month, a bit of an inconsistent month, if you will. Hey, we're still 44, 17, and 2 on the season. Probably still near the top of the standings as we head into a trade deadline day. So one day before let's just take a look at our options. We'll take a look at what's out there on the block. But I don't think we're going to do too much, to be honest. Let's just take a look at the standings. So we are at 90 points already. And we still have the entire month of March and half of April to go. So we do sit up top of our division by quite a lead. We are ahead in the West by 8 points or so. And we are ahead in the NHL by also the same margin. So what did I just click on? So, yeah, we're pretty comfortable right now. We are the best team in the NHL. There's not too much we probably want to do. But we'll definitely take a look at the trading block. Not our trading block. You know what? First things first is how much salary do we have to work with here? Let's take a look at that. Let's go to... Well, we'll go to proposed trade and see how much salary we got to work with here. Yeah, so 1.5. 1.6 technically. Yeah, not a lot of room to work with. We have a lot of depth on the back end. If anything, we could use forward depth. See if there's a veteran piece that some team's willing to give up. I'm not going to go looking through every team right now. I don't believe we are in need of making a trade, but I will browse the block, and if there is a player that makes sense that could come in and help us make a push for the Stanley Cup, because that's what we're trying to do, then that's what we will do. We're looking for a forward here, probably not defenseman, but a guy that's going to be cheap, preferably cheap salary as well, so probably not going to be easy to find that type of player, but we'll just browse the block here. And there's not too much coming up. There's Buron, he's a defenseman. Again, looking for a forward. There's a couple options here. Artem Anisov, Mike Camilleri, Brandon Saad. Obviously, we can't go after Saad. Artem Anisov has quite a high value despite being 82. Camilleri's not too bad. How many years does he have? 2 years left, 38 years of age, 81. He's a veteran presence that come in and help us make a push. I don't know how much he's going to help us. Third line scorer, he's got 10 goals, 19 assists this season. I'm not liking his plus minuses. Let's take a look at what else is out there. Matt Nieto's out there. 2 years left at 2.4. That's not too bad. Listed as top 9. Corpusalo, nothing in Dallas. Tatar is out there, but not liking his salary at 5. Some mil. Lucci, I don't believe he's 85 overall, still 6 million anyway. Let's see here, nothing in Florida. Gus Nyquist is there. Yeah, he does only have 1 year left, but again, pretty high trade value because he is 84. Jeff Carter. Yeah, so I'm not liking the salary on a lot of these guys. Spurgeon, like I don't want to go too crazy and give up too much either. I don't think we're in a position to do that. But you do probably want to get that last piece to help you make a push. Subban and Ellis both are on the block in Nashville. I mean, are they going for a Stanley Cup or are they going for a rebuild? My God. Cade, Yakupov. Yeah, not too much going on here on the block. Pavelski, he's making like 6 mil. Who's in St. Louis? Nobody. Hoffman in Vancouver, again, too high of a value. Louis Erickson's there, too high. Daniel Sedin. Nothing really in Vegas, Washington, and Winnipeg. So yeah, not too much. I can try and make a push for Camilleri, or who's the other guy that we wanted to try first? Matt Nieto, maybe. Nieto's in 80, Camilleri's in 81. They both have 2 years left. So there's not much of a difference. I like Nieto's contract a little bit better. We'll try and trade for Nieto first. Again, it's just about bringing in somebody that can help us with depth. So what do we got here? What are they interested in? We do have Paul Byron as well down there, so, I mean, we do have depth, and Joffrey Lupul, so we do have actually options. Nieto would just be a slight upgrade over those guys for depth. If anything, we're shopping draft picks, because that's all we pretty much have. They don't want any of that. Let's exit there. You know what? you know what? I don't think we're gonna make a move. I just think to get even Nieto or Camilleri, you're gonna have to over push. I could see us, or I could see them wanting like a third round pick back for those players, and I don't want to give back a third round pick for a guy that's not even going to be on our fourth line. He's just going to be a guy sitting there. We do have, like I said, Lupul, and I forgot we had Joffrey Lupul and Paul Byron, so we do have options down there when it comes to forward depth. They're not the best options, but hey, they're options. And I think other than that, we're pretty solid. You don't have to make a move at trade deadline just because it's trade deadline. We could have a Stanley Cup winning team already. So there's no need to make a move. So we will skip over the deadline. Again, I think we're sitting comfortably where we are. Let's see if we can win with the team we have. So here's one last incoming trade. They want to give us Danny DeKaiser. Again, we don't want a defenseman. For a third and a fourth, not too bad. But we don't need another defenseman. Just quickly look at DeKaiser, because a third and a fourth isn't too bad. But what is his overall now? 81, yeah, so he's gone down quite a bit. So we will decline that trade and move on to Washington. So we are past the trade deadline. That's it. We can't make any more moves. So we are now hoping that we have the right pieces to win a Stanley Cup. And like I said, I strongly believe we do, or I'm confident in the team we have. So there's Monahan. There's Monahan again in the second. There's Tkachuk twice. And the Flames beat the Capitals to start off the month, or start off the post-trade deadline. Technically, it's the second game of the month of March. So that's a good way to start the month, is with 2 straight wins. Now we got the Chicago Blackhawks. So you can see a busy month here of March, and then right into April. And so there's not too many games left, but we got to get through through this grind. It'd be nice if we had a better month than we did in February, because I didn't particularly like our month there in February. Anyways, not to our standards. So first period here, Dougie Hamilton. Oh, excuse me, that was the second period. Hamilton and Hartman. Third period now, we get a couple more. Fisher twice and Monahan. So it's good to see these guys like Fisher and Monahan, Tkachuk in the last game. Guys that were quite quiet to start this episode are starting to come through. If we can keep Tavares and Gaudreau going consistently, get some offensive production from the depth guys here and there, as well as our defensemen. Keep taking prices. Then we should be in good shape. So let's keep it going here. So now we got the Pittsburgh Penguins here. It is Johnny Gaudreau bobblehead night. Let's see if Johnny Gaudreau can score a goal here on his bobblehead night. So nothing there in the first. They get 2 goals. Last period of play here. Come on, Flames. Do we have 2 in us? No, they beat us 2-0. That's a shutout for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Gaudreau is silenced on his own bobblehead night, and the Calgary Flames can't even score a goal against Crosby and the Penguins. And now, to make it worse, Jake Bean's been injured. Oh my God. Okay, so this is where our defensive depth is going to be tested, and it's April 3rd. Oh my God, that's like a 3-4 week injury on Jake Bean, one of our top 3 defensemen. So that is not good. What am I doing here? Alright, so this is the time of year you definitely don't want injuries. But we will promote Chillington, and Yusuf Valimaki should get the call up. So let me go down to... oh no, who do we have as scratches? Yeah, we don't have any scratches. So I gotta call Yusuf Valimaki up. So give me a second here, I'm gonna get Valimaki up to me. Alright, so I just put Yusuf Valimaki in all of Jake Bean's spots. I did, though, move Oliver Chillington to play with Ryan McDonough on that second pairing. And then we got Valimaki there with Kulak. You can see Valimaki already 78. He's one better than Kulak. This is his NHL debut. Yusuf Valimaki will be making his NHL debut. Excuse me, I gotta fix our lines in the AHL. Okay, I did best lines, whatever. But yeah, you can see Yusuf Valimaki will be making his NHL debut. He's played 3 seasons, including this one in the American Hockey League for us. Made the NHL roster out of training camp this year, but just didn't make the opening day roster, and then just didn't get a chance to play because we didn't really have any issues with Kulak and Chillington on that third pairing. So Valimaki didn't see any ice time, so we had to send him back. He's only played 27 games this season because he spent a lot of time in the press box in the NHL watching, but now he's finally got his opportunity. So he's in all line situations here. This should be a good test for one of our top prospects right now in Yusuf Valimaki, making his NHL debut, but we are really going to miss Jake Bean, who is expected to be out till this Ranger game here. That's when he's out, but we hope that It's nothing serious because we can't start affording to lose bodies here right in this time of season, in this time of year, excuse me. So here we go against the Golden Knights, a divisional game. Gaudreau and Tavares, as well as Spencer Food, third period. We hang on for the 3-1 win. But yeah, like I said, good to see Valimaki finally get a shot here in the NHL. So I'm happy in a way that he gets a play, but at the same time, it's like you don't want Jake being injured. One of your top 3 defensemen, arguably on this team. You definitely don't want to see that, but not much you can do. Injuries are part of this game. Let's just hope it doesn't get too much here. So Holla and Laine, second period, 2 goals there, Gaudreau and Kachuk, and then 3 more from Holla, or 2 more. Holla and Wheeler each getting a goal. 5-1 win, a big win there against the Winnipeg Jets. So that's 2 straight wins. We got the Golden Knights again here. Lots of divisional games you can see here in this month. We got the Golden Knights twice, the Oilers twice, the Canucks, the Coyotes. So lots of divisional games here to be played. The Ducks, sorry, I skipped over Anaheim, who's our next game here. So that's actually, 4 or 5 divisional games in a row here that we're going to be playing. All right, first period, Kachuk and Gaudreau, Broussard for them. They get 2 there, Broussard and Shipshav in the second. Do we get fight back here in the third period? We do, but they score 1 more, Riley Smith, so that is a win for the Golden Knights and a divisional loss for us, but hey, we can bounce back here against the Anaheim Ducks. Again, we're pretty comfortable in our spot in the Pacific Division. Again, there is still a little bit of time left to go. I don't think too many teams are going to be able to catch up to us unless they just go on a completely hot streak and we go on a completely cold streak. It's definitely possible, but I like where we're sitting in our division. But at this point, it's just about accumulating points and continuing that winning mentality going into the Stanley Cup playoffs. We should be pretty close to locking up a playoff spot. We will be the first team to lock up a playoff spot, very likely. So there we are. We're going to overtime here against the Ducks. We do give up a point, but we pick up 2 here in the shootout. Gaudreau and Hamilton seem to be always getting it done for us in the shootout. Good to see. That's another divisional win, despite giving up 1 point to the Anaheim Ducks. So here we go. Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, and I just pushed play game. Like I'm going through this too fast today as well. That could be the reason that I am tripping over my words, because I'm just flying through this. I want to get through the whole season if possible. I mean, I think we can get through the rest of this regular season, so we didn't have to do much at the deadline, so that's why. All right, first period, Strobe scores for them. Second period, Wheeler responds. Third period, come on Flames, nothing. Overtime, and we do get it. Dougie Hamilton, the overtime winner, and that's 2-1. That is a 2 straight divisional wins, however, both coming in extra time, so we have surrendered a point to each divisional opponent in these wins, but we're still picking up the points, so that's what matters. Coyotes, we will see them again. We just played them, didn't we? So yeah, lots of divisional games here. We played them in the last month. I can't even keep track anymore. First period, Eric Holla. Second period, 2 there, Kachuk, Holla. And third, we do get 1 more. We hang on 4-2. James Neal has scored 2 straight games against his former team. He has scored against us. But Christian Fisher, the guy that we got back in that James Neal trade, that 1-for-1 trade, has scored as well. Excuse me. So both Neal and Fisher scoring in that one. So good to see. We also got a 3rd round pick back in that trade. Just looking at our archives there of the trade that happened this past summer. James Neal for Christian Fisher and a 3rd. So it's a really good trade for us. But Neal seems to be doing well, at least against us, for the Coyotes. Here we go. Another divisional game. Vancouver Canucks. We should be around the 12-10 game mark now. Countdown is definitely on. Tavares scores, nothing in the second. They come back in the third with 3 unanswered. So I don't know what the hell happened to that game against Vancouver. But now we got Mini and Colorado. So how many games do we have left? Let's see there. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, that was our 10th last game. 72nd game, if you will. But yeah, we're on to our 9th final game here in the season. Again, don't know where we are in the standings. I haven't even looked. There's Wheeler. There's 2 from the Wild. Then they beat us 2-1. Just grinding it through here right now. Colorado, so that's a couple losses in a row, though. Not liking that. Let's see if we can bounce back here against the Avs. I'll check the standings here at the start of the month of April. But I don't think these games mean too much for us right now. There's a huge second period, third period. We hang on. 6-1 is the score. Just flying through this. That was a really good game for the Flames. Obviously. St. Louis here. And then Edmonton to finish up the month. This guy's ready to come back. Okay. Stockton. Yeah, you can go best lines in Stockton. What are they? 34, 34, and 6. So they are 500 right now, the Stockton Heat. So I don't think they're going to get into the playoffs. But hey, if they do, it will be a testament to the depth that we added throughout this season. Both their NHL and AHL roster. Basically, the depth we added to our NHL roster impacted our AHL roster. So there's another 2-1 loss. I think we've lost 3 of our last 4 games. Yeah, we have. So not liking the previous record here to end the month. It was looking pretty good until these last few games. So Jake Bean is ready to come back. Let's bring him back. Well, let's play this last game against the Oilers. I'll hold him out just to ensure that he doesn't get injured again. I don't want to see him getting re-injured right before playoffs. Tavares, Fu, McJesus scores. Third period, we do hang on. Bean comes back in. Okay. I thought I didn't put him back in, but I must have just did best lines. And he scores in his return here to the lineup, so that's good to see. 5-3. So that will take us right into April against the San Jose Sharks. We must have locked up a playoff spot by now. I didn't see a notification come on the screen, but we obviously must have locked it up, and we did. We clinched our division, and we clinched our conference. Is that what Y means? I don't think we've clinched the President's Trophy. No, because you can see St. Louis is there at 103, but we have clinched our conference. I believe that's what Y means. Oh, no, because St. Louis is... So we've clinched our division. Sorry. Getting it straight there. So yeah, we've clinched our division. St. Louis and Dallas have clinched spots. Tampa and Boston. And then Philly, Washington, Columbus, Pittsburgh. So we do have a Pacific Division title in 2021, but can we get a Western or a President's Trophy title? And again, it doesn't matter what we do in the regular season. It's all about the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we are heading back to the playoffs, obviously, and winning our division. So, yeah. So they just did best lines. Is that what the hell they did here? Like, what? Look at these lines. Like, what? How these like? Okay, so give me a second. I'm just gonna fix. I don't even know what the hell the computer did. Why is Mangiapane on the second line? Like, what? So give me a second here. Fix the lines there. They had, for some reason, they had like Jankowski getting all the special teams times, and yeah, that was just really weird. But you can see I fixed the lines there, and we now got Fu, Hala, and Fast on the third line. Cogliano, Jankowski, Mangiapane on the fourth line. But yeah, just fixed the lines, making it much better there, and got Jake Bean back there with Ryan McDonough on the second pairing, excuse me. And they've also put Kulak as the scratch, and they're playing Valimaki with Chillington. I'm fine with that. Clearly, Valimaki's done all right since coming in. Actually, let's take a look. I didn't even look at how he's done in his few NHL games, but no reason to change things up unless they have to be changed. Where's Valimaki here? Whoops. So he's got 1 point plus 3 in however many games he's played. That's fine. We can leave him in over Kulak. Kulak hasn't done anything spectacular this season anyway, so it doesn't matter there. So we have only a couple games left. Like I said, we have clinched our division, but can we keep on fighting here for top spots in the NHL? So we got a few games left to decide that. First period here against the Sharks. Whoa, they get 3. We get 1 there in the second. Dougie Hamilton beating former hitman Martin Jones, but they beat us 3-1. That's not going to help our cause. Now we got the Rangers. How many games do we have left? Let's go back to... so you can see Anaheim's now clinched in our division as well. St. Louis is the closest team to catching us. 104. We are 108. Yeah, 108. So they're 4 points back. 89 for the Ducks. Oilers haven't clinched yet, nor have the Sharks. So just a quick look at our division. Sharks get a much-needed win, though, against us, fighting for that wild card spot. So 4 games left here. Like I said, we're 4 points up on the St. Louis Blues for tops in the NHL. I kind of want that President's Trophy, but again, I really don't care. It's all about the playoffs. So it'll be nice if we get it, but let's see what happens here. So 2 goals there, Fu and Gaudreau against the Rangers. 1 more there for Valimaki. That's his first NHL goal. So good to see Yusuf Valimaki get one at home against the Rangers for his first NHL goal. VC also scoring third period. We hang on. So Valimaki with a huge. It wasn't the game winner, but it was a huge goal in this one for his first NHL career goal. So congratulations to Valimaki. And now Jesper's Fast has been injured. So. Not one of our top players, but at the same time, again, we don't want injuries at this point of the year. So we'll put Mangiapane in, and we'll put Paul Byron in for his first game, I believe, as a Calgary Flame, in his return as a Calgary Flame. But first time in his second tenure with the Calgary Flames, I should say. First game of the season. All right, so Vancouver, Vegas, San Jose, 3 divisional games to close out the season. We're not worried about giving them points. We're just worried about collecting points. So I'm not even going to look at the standings till the season's over. So first period, Daniel Sedin. Second period, Louis Eriksson. Third period, Granlund Gaudreau does score, but we lose this one 3-1. There's a lot of 3-1 games going on. This has been a not as good the last couple of months here to the season. Now Christian Fischer, you got to be kidding me right now with these injuries. My God, April 15th, get out of town. Like, my God. It's one of our top 6 forwards. Like, this is insane. I'm gonna, like, oh my God. What? These injuries are just killing us. Like, of all, every time it does it at this time of year. Like, it's so annoying. All right, so right now, I have to just throw in Kulak right now on the 4th line. Fuck. Okay, give me a sec. No, we only got a few games left here. I'm just going to throw Kulak there for the final 2 games. That's just annoying, though. Faster's okay, so Faster's ready to come back anyway, so Kulak didn't even have to play a game down there. So let's take him out there. Let's get Jesper's Fast back in. But, man, that's sure annoying. Like, that's just... Injuries have to happen. Like, all of our injuries have to happen right at this time of year. All season long, nothing, and then boom. Like, what is that, 3-4 injuries in the last couple of weeks here? Alright, here we go. Vegas Golden Knights, Calgary Flames. There's a goal by Gaudreau. Second period. Now, third period, do we hang on? Yes, we do. 2 goals from Hamilton and Fast. So that is a 3-0 shutout win for John Gibson and the Calgary Flames against the Golden Knights. And now, one last game on the regular season. Possibly to determine where we finish. If we finish number 1 against the San Jose Sharks, they're fighting for their lives for a playoff spot. We're fighting for possibly a President's Trophy. I don't know where St. Louis is at, but we'll see here. So first period, 2 goals. There we go. Jankowski Byron, his first goal as a Calgary Flame. Since, again, coming back. Burmistrov scores to make it interesting. Third period, do we hang on? We do. 2 goals. Ryan McDonough twice. Our big off-season acquisition scores. We win 4-1. We might have won the President's Trophy. Let's take a look as the regular season comes to an end. The Calgary Flames, possibly for the first time since 1989, and there it is. The Z has marked the President's Trophy for the Calgary Flames, 106. So the Blues really struggle in their final few games. We go 114. Washington goes 104. Philly goes 104. Who's in the other East? 106 as well for Tampa, 104 for Boston. A couple hundreds there for Pitt and Columbus. So the East really pulling strong. Our division was the weakest. Our conference was the weakest, but we were the strongest team in the NHL. We have clinched the President's Trophy, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since the late 1980s. The Calgary Flames are the number 1 team in the I can't even remember the last time we won. I think it was 1989. I'll have to double check on that stat for the next video. I believe it was the year we won the Cup. 89, I think, is the last time we clinched the President's Trophy as a top team in the NHL. But we do this season. We finish with a Pacific Division title, 114 points, going 56-24-2, an incredible record. We almost hit the 60-win plateau, but we do surpass the 55-win plateau. With, again, 114 points, well ahead of Edmonton, Anaheim, and Vancouver, who clinched the final Pacific Division spots. Vancouver gets a wild card spot because the Predators also get a wild card spot. Minnesota, Dallas, and there's St. Louis at 106. Pretty weak Western Conference, though. Again, when you compare it to this Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay 106, Washington 104, Philly 104, Boston 104, 100 for Pitt and Columbus, and then 96 and 94 for Florida and Toronto for those final spots in the East. And again, there it is. We are 114, so we finished ahead of Tampa and St. Louis to win the President's Trophy in the Western. Oh, I guess the Z marks the conference. So we've clinched the Western Conference. I thought that was the President's Trophy because Tampa also has the Z. So yeah, you can see down there in the bottom legend that I clearly was not paying attention to. That means clinch the division. So they don't have one for. I think they do in real life. I don't know what the letter is. I think it's P. It's P for President's Trophy. That makes sense. Now that I remember, it is P. When you get the P beside your name, that means you've clinched the President's Trophy. But it's obviously not in this game. They just put the Z's for the conference and the Y's for the division. So we obviously clinch our division and our Western Conference. But the main thing is we win the President's Trophy. It's been a long time since the Calgary Flames have been the number one team in the NHL. But hey, in 2020, 2021, we did just that. So to go along with 2 Western Conference titles in our 4 years as the GM with the Calgary Flames, we can add a President's Trophy. But again, that's nice hardware. I don't mind seeing the 2 Clarence Campbell Bowl trophies and the 1 President's Trophy in those 4 years. But the main piece of hardware I want is that Stanley Cup. We need to add a Stanley Cup to our trophy case in our GM tenure here with the Flames. So we will find out in the next episode if we begin that march to that final trophy that we are hoping to add to our trophy case, the Stanley Cup. Do we get it? We will start the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2021 in the next video. The Calgary Flames. I don't even know who are we playing. Let's sim forward here quickly just to see who we're playing. But the Calgary Flames have won the President's Trophy. But again, it doesn't mean anything unless we win the Stanley Cup. We don't even care. We don't care about anything until we win the Cup. So it is the Vancouver Canucks. So stop simming, please. Yeah, so AHL season has been wrapped up as well. Christian Fischer is also available to come back in the next game. So I'll put best lines for now. I'll fix that for the playoffs. But Christian Fischer is available to come back for the playoffs, so that's good. He wasn't expected to come back till about after game 2. But he is ready to go. So all of our players, I believe, are healthy and back to start the playoffs, which is good news for us. We do have a divisional rival, a big rival in the Vancouver Canucks coming up in the first round. It should be a good one. Flames next to start the playoffs. Next episode, episode 44 here of our Franchise Mode.